Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. So today we are going to take the discussion for 10 MCQs. Like you might be knowing that Lukmaan IAS is conducting daily dose of 10 MCQs for the prelims exam. So as part of the daily dose of 10 MCQs, we cover the current affairs of the day through the questions, okay, so that like you are prepared for the prelims exam. So with this, let us take the first question for the day and we will discuss the question and its explanation in the discussion session itself. So this is the first question, right? So what you can do is you can pause the video, you can read the question and then you can answer this question, okay? So let us take this question for discussion. So if we see the central idea of this question, the central idea of this question is based on Conference of Parties Summit for Biodiversity, okay? So this is a different Conference of Parties. Many of you might be knowing COP, which is under UNFCCC, but this is a different Conference of Party that says Conference of Parties Summit for Biodiversity. And this question is based on this particular Conference of Parties for Biodiversity. And in this question, we have to identify the incorrect statements. Remember, we have to identify the incorrect statements in this question, okay? So the first statement says, recently the summit was held in Montreal, okay? Recently the summit was held in Montreal. This is a right statement, okay? So this statement is right. This summit was held in Montreal in Canada, okay? So this is right. If we talk about the second statement, it says an agreement was signed under which 40% of the land and water is to be protected for biodiversity by 2040. This statement is incorrect, okay? Why? Because they want to protect 30% of the land and water, right, which is considered important under biodiversity by the year 2030, okay? So that's why the second statement is wrong. If we talk about the third statement, it says this agreement is known as 40 by 40, okay? This is again incorrect because it is known as 30 by 30, okay? This is known as 30 by 30. And what we had to identify? We had to identify the incorrect statements. So statement 2 is incorrect, statement 3 is incorrect, so that's why the answer will be option C, which says 2 and 3, okay? 2 and 3 are incorrect statements, okay? So now, why this question is important? We need to discuss about that also because it was recently in news, okay? So there was a historic biodiversity deal that was signed, okay? At COP 15, okay, COP 15. So I have discussed that this particular Conference of Party is Conference of Party for conserving the biodiversity, okay? So if you read the headline of this particular news, you will get to know what is the core theme or core idea of this question. It says at the UN Biodiversity Conference in Montreal, okay? So the first statement of the news item itself gives you the information. In the question, the first statement was that recently the summit was held in Montreal. So this particular summit, right, UN Biodiversity Conference, right, it was held in Montreal. Negotiations were reached, negotiators reached an agreement to protect 30% of the land and water considered important for biodiversity by 2030, which is known as 30 by 30, okay? So that's why the other two statements, okay, other two means option statement 2 and statement 3 were incorrect, okay? So what you need to do, you need to read this particular news item in detail to understand more about this Conference of Parties, right, which is for safeguarding the biodiversity, okay? So this was recently conducted in Montreal, and if you read more, you will get to know about what were the different viewpoints of the stakeholders in this particular conference, okay? So as part of the conference, there was a society. The name of this society is the Wildlife Conservation Society, okay? And there were many other environmental groupings, okay? So these groupings were of the opinion that if we think of 2050, that will be very far away and we will not be in a road to conserve our biodiversity. So we should target the most recent time frame, which is 2030, and we should conserve 30% of the land and water, right? We should conserve 30% of land and water which are important for biodiversity. So this was the first question. You can read the explanation. So the explanation, like this particular PDF, it will be uploaded in the description of the YouTube video that you are watching, okay. So at a later stage, right, you can download the PDF and you can go through the explanation. So let us take the second question for discussion. It like this particular question, I mean like this particular question is related to protection of consumer rights in India, right. You might be knowing that like we have Central Consumer Protection Authority in India, and this Central Consumer Protection Authority is responsible for protecting the rights of the consumer, making the consumers aware about their rights, and also like they are also like legally they are legally authorized to impose penalty on some of the let's say producers or suppliers of goods and services. So as part of that particular topic, we are going to take this question, okay. So let us read this question, then we will answer this question, okay. So it says, suppose you plan to dine with your family at Taj Mahal Palace, Mumbai, okay. So like at Hotel Taj, right, you want to dine, like you want to do dinner with your family members. Mumbai, like this evening, consider the following instances in your outing at the Taj Mahal Palace, okay. So like you have visited with your family to the Taj Mahal Palace and you want to dine there, and like these situations happen with you, okay. So I'll read these two statements. So it says, after your meal, right, after your meal, you are duly informed that you need to pay a special charge for enjoying rich ambience at this historic venue, okay. So they are saying like after you have done the dinner, you are informed, you are duly informed by the authorities, duly informed by the officials there, that like you need to pay a special surcharge, a special charge for enjoying the rich ambience at this historic venue. Then the second statement, it says, you accept to pay this special charge as it would be unlawful to deny the payment of such charges at such a significant venue, okay. So you understood, right, you went with your family at Hotel Taj, you have done the dinner, and after then like like the waiter comes or the officials comes and they say that like you have to pay a special charge because like you have enjoyed the special ambience of that historic place. And then like you decide like anyhow I have to pay because this is a special place, so like you pay it, right. Now let's come to the question part, okay. It says, which of the statements given above is or are in consonance with the legal mechanism in place for consumer protection in India, okay. So in India we do have legal mechanism, right, under which consumers are protected. As I discussed that like we have Central Consumer Protection Authority, okay, we have an authority, its name is Central Consumer Protection Authority. And this particular authority is like is responsible for protecting the rights of the consumers in India, right. So this particular Central Consumers Protection Authority has come up with new guidelines, right, new guidelines, and under those guidelines none of these two are in consonance, in sync with the existing legal mechanism. So like after your meal, the hotel owners or like waiters or any other official, they cannot come and like ask you for paying some special charges, right, which is like so this is incorrect. And like if you are paying, right, you are also like not following the legal things that are there, okay, although like you can pay. So that should be voluntary from your part, like it should not be like told by the officials that like you have to pay. You are not legally bound to pay. Like if you want to give some tip to a waiter, that's okay. If you want to make some service charges which is voluntary, that's okay. But the thing is, if the hotel authorities, right, if the hotel like hotel people, they come and ask you to pay, right, a special charge, so that's illegal from their part, right. If you are paying, right, under their influence, that's also like you are not following the legal process. I mean like you are not like doing the things like you are not enjoying your rights that are I mean like that are being protected by the Central Consumer Protection Authority by for you, okay. So none of these things are in consonance with the legal mechanism in place for India. So our answer for this question will be D, okay. Our answers will be D, neither 1 nor 2, okay. So let us go through the explanation, right? So what has happened recently, the Central Consumer Protection Authority has come up with stringent actions, right, to safeguard the consumer interest. Okay, so as part of it, like the CCPA, Central Consumer Protection Authority, they have released a notification, notification about the rules. So here they have mentioned that like this particular commission has authority, right, to direct recalling of any dangerous, hazardous or unsafe goods or withdrawal of similar services. It further states that the commission can order refunding of the proceeds collected towards the sale of goods or offering of services so recalled, or order stoppage of any unfair practices after giving the person directed to do so an opportunity of being heard. Means simply, let's say like the hotel owners are like imposing some charges, the Central Consumer Protection Authority may like hear their part also, and then they may direct them to repay to the consumer. Okay, repay to the consumer. So this is the thing, like what are the rights, like what are the rights that a consumer enjoys. So here the Central Consumer Protection Authority has mentioned in detail, right, what are the rights that the consumers enjoy. So it says no hotel or restaurant can add service charge automatically or by default in the bill. Okay, if you read the first statement, you will get to know, like this statement, I mean like this statement talks about the first statement of the question. So in the first statement of the question, the hotel authorities, they came and they said like they have added a special charge for you. Why? Because you have enjoyed the special ambience of the historic place. Okay, so like that statement was not in sync with the legal mechanisms that are in place in India. Then service charge shall not be collected from consumers by any other name. No hotel or restaurant shall force a consumer to pay a service charge and shall clearly inform the consumer that service charge is voluntary. Okay, the service charge that hotel owners can charge, like they can share you the details of service charge, but like they have to inform clearly that like service charge is voluntary, it's optional. Optional means you as a consumer may choose to pay, may not choose to pay. Okay, it's not bound, binding on you that you have to pay. Okay, and the consumer's discretion means like if you want to pay, so it should be at your discretion. If you wish to pay, you can pay. If you don't wish to pay, you don't need to pay. Okay, no restriction on entry or provision of services based on collection of service charge shall be imposed on consumers. Okay, so like this particular article, it is giving you details of the rights that the Central Consumer Protection Authority has in for you. Okay, so you need to read about it, and like you can utilize this information for your personal life also. Like if you are visiting some good places, let's say big places, and like if you come across such bills where like they are charging some service charge, and so like you should be knowing that like it is optional, it is voluntary, and it is at the discretion of you. It is at the discretion of the consumer whether to pay or not to pay. Okay, so this is the thing. With this we will take another question for discussion. So here this question, the central idea of this question is gamma ray burst. Okay, so it says consider the following statements about gamma ray burst. Okay, what you can do, you can pause this video. After pausing, you can answer this question. What I am going to do, I am going to read the question and explain the answer to you. Okay, so if we talk about gamma ray burst, like what are gamma ray burst? Basically, like many scientists around the world, they are still doing research to understand how the universe was formed, how planets came into existence, what is the beginning point of the universe. So as part of that particular search, right, they have come across a point which is like to understand about the energies that are being emitted like in the gamma ray burst. So what are gamma ray burst? Basically, like when a star breaks, like explodes, let's say a star explodes, then like it releases some energy. Okay, it releases some energy at a later point. That energy, I mean like that energy that is emitted, It is known as gamma ray burst. Okay. So this question is about gamma ray burst. So like we are going to understand about these statements, and then like we will answer this question. They say they are the most luminous explosion in the universe. Okay. It says they are the most luminous. Okay. What do we mean by luminous? Means let's say some explosion happens, along with explosion some kind of brightness is also seen. You might have seen firecrackers during Diwali. Okay. If you burst a firecracker, you also see light, right? You also see light there. That is known as luminescent, luminescent, like luminous. Luminous means it is giving you light as well. Okay. So the gamma ray bursts are the most luminous explosions in the universe. This statement is correct. Okay. This statement is correct. After this, it says they are short-lived bursts of gamma ray light. Okay, this is also right. Okay, they are short-lived. Means like the burst happened for few seconds to few minutes. Okay, so these are short-lived bursts. They are not, I mean, like bursting for like years and years. So they are short-lived bursts. Third, they are the strongest energy generated during the formation of black holes. Okay, they are the strongest energy generators during the formation of black holes. This statement is also right. Okay, all these statements are right, and we need to identify which of them are correct statements. Okay, so correct option would be option D, which is 1, 2 and 3. Okay, all these like statements that are mentioned over here associated with gamma ray burst are true. Okay, what are gamma ray burst? Gamma ray burst is like release of energy and light after explosion of a star, right? And like why people are like doing research in this field? Because like they want to identify, they want to learn, they want to know how the universe was formed. Okay, so in search of knowledge, in search of information, how the universe was formed, like scientists have come across this thing which is measuring the gamma ray burst, right? This is the thing. So you need to read about this, right? So we have also included the article, right? Article in this PDF, so you can go through that article as well. Okay, so here you can see measuring gamma ray burst, hidden energy, unearth clues to the evolution of the universe. Purpose of reading this, purpose of doing research of the scientists is to unearth, is to understand the evolution of the universe. Okay, and it says gamma ray bursts are the most luminous explosions in the universe, allowing astrologists to observe intense gamma rays in short duration. Gamma ray bursts are classified as either short or long, with long gamma ray burst being the result of massive star dying out. Hence, they provide hidden clues about the evolution of the universe. Okay, when massive stars, big stars die out, okay, then gamma ray burst happen. Okay, so like scientists are understanding this thing. To understand the evolution of the universe. Okay, evolution of the universe. So after this, like we will take another question. This question is related to surety bond insurance. Okay, we will understand about what is surety bond, what is surety bond insurance. Okay, and then like we will answer this question. So the central idea of this question is surety bond insurance. Okay, they have given multiple statements related to this, and so like we need to identify which of these statements are correct. Okay, which of these statements are correct. Basically, like if we talk about surety bonds, okay, so surety bonds are a kind of bond instruments, right? And these bond instruments are alternative to the government, government guarantees. Okay, so government takes, guarantees and all. So this is an alternative to that. So what happens in surety bond instruments? There are three parties. One party that requires the surety bond, one party that wants the surety bond, okay, and the other party. Okay, so there are three parties. Okay, so these three parties do some transaction related to surety bonds. Why? Because they want to protect the principal. What is principal? The principal, for example, let's say like I am a contractor, right? I am a contractor, so I take contract to build a project, and there will be a person like who will be giving me that contract, right? Who will be giving me that contract? That person is actually investing the amount. But the thing is like why he is investing the amount, because he wants to get this particular project done. And why I want to do this project, because I want to generate profit. Okay, but like there should be some instrument of guarantee also. For that purpose, surety bond insurance come into play. Okay, then the government government acts as an agency that requires the surety bonds, and these surety bond insurances are being offered by insurance companies. Okay, these are being offered by insurance companies. Okay, these are being offered by insurance companies. And recently, like in the present budget, right, so the union government has come up with this proposal that the insurance regulatory, okay, IRDAI, you must be knowing that there is a regulatory body which is known as IRDAI, Insurance Regulatory Development, Insurance Regulatory Developmental Authority of India. Okay, so IRDAI is a body that actually regulates the insurance sector in India, right? So we have health insurance, we have general insurance, we have life insurance, we have different types of insurance, right? So necessarily, like if we are talking about surety bond insurance, so this is a kind of insurance, this is a kind of bond, that is for protecting the capital, right? The huge amount of capital which are a part of, let's say, like an infrastructure project. Whenever like we have big infrastructure projects, so huge amount of money is invested there. Okay, so for protecting those capital, like we have a like instrument which is known as surety bond insurance. Okay, so you have understood about the concept of this. Let us now go into the details, okay, through the question. Okay, so let us read this question. It says they are risk transfer tool and shield the principal from losses. Okay, they are risk transfer tool and shield the principal from losses. This is absolutely right. Okay, this is absolutely right. Apart from this, it says they are signed by three parties, that are the lender, the trustee and the guarantor. Okay, lender, a person like who lends, right? Then the trustee and the guarantor. Okay, the trustee and the guarantor. Who is the guarantor over here? The guarantor will be the insurance company. Who will be the trustee? Trustee will be the government. Who will be lender? A person like who is lending money. Okay, so these are the things. So the insurance bond, surety bond insurances are signed by three parties. Okay, they are signed by three parties. So first and second statements are right. Let us talk about the third statement. It says they are not legally binding. This is incorrect. Okay, they are legally binding. Okay, they are legally binding. Fourth, they require collateral to recover the amount in cases of losses. This is also incorrect, because they do not require any collateral. The purpose of the surety bond insurance is that, they do not require collateral in case of losses. In case of losses, the principal can be recovered, through the surety bond itself. Okay, through the surety bond itself. Okay, so this is the thing. For example, let's say I am just giving you another example that may not be fitting into the purpose. Let's say I am a person who has taken life insurance for myself. Okay, and so I have taken life insurance. So what happens, if in case I die tomorrow, so there will be a nominee whom I have assigned, that in case of my demise, the insured amount will be transferred to that person. Okay, this is the case. So in this case, in the example, the life insurance acted as a bond, surety bond. So in case of projects, so this is the thing, surety bond insurance. So this particular surety bond in itself guarantees that the principal will not die out. A guarantor, a person who has taken the guarantee, the insurance company, they are going to pay for the losses. Okay, so principal will be safeguarded in this case. Okay, so we need to identify which of the statements given above are correct. Okay, only 1 and 2, statement 1 and 2 are correct in this case. Okay, 1 and 2 are correct. So with this, let us move to the next question. And before this, you need to know about why this question was asked, because recently Mr. Nitin Gadkari, okay, he has launched the first ever surety bond insurance for infrastructure projects. Okay, the first ever surety bond insurance was launched by Mr. Nitin Gadkari for insurance for infrastructure projects in India. So this is the thing. So you need to understand about what is surety bond, what is what are the various nuances associated with this. What you can do in your free time, you can read this article and you can also read the explanation to understand more about it. Okay, so explanation is given over here. Go through the explanation and understand the topic in detail. With this, we will take another question. It says, consider the following statements about hydropower projects in the Himalayas. Okay, so the central idea, central theme of the question is about hydropower projects. What are hydropower projects? Those projects in which we derive energy, we derive power, right, from hydro, from the power of water, like we use, let's say, hydroelectricity. Okay, so dams are constructed. Why? For generation of electricity. So dams are an example of hydropower project. Okay, so the central idea of this question is hydropower project. So let us read these statements. It says Nepal is the largest hydropower producer in South Asia. This statement is incorrect. Why? Because it is not Nepal, it is China. Okay, China is the largest hydropower producer in South Asia. Okay, so that's why statement 1 is incorrect. Second statement, it says Nepal Dagu Dam is the largest producer of hydroelectric power in the world. Okay, it says Nepal Dagu Dam. Okay, it says Nepal Dagu Dam is the largest. So it is not Nepal Dagu Dam, it is known as Three Gorges Dam. Okay, it's known as Three Gorges. Okay, it's not Nepal Dagu Dam, it's Three Gorges Dam, which is the largest hydroelectric, largest hydroelectric power producer of hydroelectric power in the world. Okay, Three Gorges Dam is located on the Yangtze River in China. Okay, and this is the largest producer of hydroelectric power in the world. So that's why first statement and second statement both are incorrect. Why? Because China is the largest producer, not the Nepal. And Three Gorges Dam is the largest hydroelectric power, hydroelectricity producer dam in the world. Okay, which is located in Yangtze River in China. Okay, so both these statements are incorrect, and here in this question they are asking us to identify correct statements. So none of these statements are correct. So what we will identify? We will identify option D, which is neither 1 nor 2. Okay, neither 1 nor 2 is the right answer in this case. Okay, so with this we will take another question, and before that, you can read the explanation over here, why this particular question was asked, because there was an article that talks about shrinking Himalayan glaciers. Okay, it talks about shrinking Himalayan glaciers threaten Chinese and Indian energy transitions. Okay, so what is happening? The Himalayan glaciers, the glaciers that we have in Himalayas, it is shrinking day by day. Why it is shrinking? Because of global warming. Okay, because of global warming, because of melting of ice, the glaciers are shrinking. Okay, so that's why it is a point of concern that hydroelectric dams, right, hydroelectricity, okay, hydroelectric power projects, they also are playing role. They are playing role in shrinking of the Himalayan glaciers. So that's why this question was asked, right? You can read about this particular thing, that which portion of the Himalayas is getting shrinked, which portion of the Himalayan glaciers are getting shrinked. Okay, so it talks about Tibetan plateau and Hindu Kush Himalayan region is warming at almost double the global average rate. Okay, so you can read about it, so you will understand more. Okay, so we have Yarlung Tsangpo Brahmaputra river basin. Okay, so Brahmaputra is known in India. So this is a very long river that originates from China. It goes through India, through the state of Assam, then it reaches to West Bengal, and through West Bengal it goes to Bay of Bengal region. Okay, so you can read about this particular thing. This is a very simple question, but the thing is you should stay updated with the current happenings. With this, we will take another question for discussion. This is question number 6. Okay, we will read this question. It says, which of the following statements is or are incorrect about FIFA World Cup 2022? Okay, this is a very hot topic. You might be knowing that Argentina, right, has won the FIFA World Cup 2022. Okay, it has won the FIFA World Cup 2022, and here in this question we need to understand that they are asking us to identify the incorrect statements. Okay, we don't have to identify correct statements, we need to identify incorrect statements. So it says in 2022 Argentina has won the World Cup title 3rd time. Now up to this everybody know, right? But like whether it is the 3rd time or 2nd time or 4th time, this is a, I mean like this is a point of concern that many of you may not be knowing, right? So indeed this is a correct statement. In 2022 Argentina has won the World Cup 3rd time. This is the thing. So in the explanation I am going to discuss about like like when did they like win the World Cup, like before this there were 2 instances when Argentina has won the World Cup, right? Then second statement we will go through. It says after Brazil, Argentina has become the 2nd most winning team of the World Cup title. Okay, it says after Brazil's Argentina has become the 2nd most winning team. Okay, this is incorrect. Okay, it is not the 2nd most winning team. Okay, so I'll talk about this. So it is like after the winning of World Cup, Argentina has become the 4th most winning team. It's not 2nd, it's 4th most winning team. Okay, 4th most winning team. We'll discuss about it. Then third statement, it says from Latin America, only Argentina and Brazil have won the World Cup title till date. Okay, it's not the case. Okay, so like Brazil, Argentina and Uruguay. Okay, these are the 3 countries. Okay, like Brazil, Argentina and Uruguay. Latin America you might be knowing, South America, we are talking about South America. On the northern portion we have like Brazil, then we have like on the northern portion we have Mexico, then like North America or America, then we have Canada. In the southern portion we have like what we say continent altogether, which is known as South America. In South America there are many countries, right? Uruguay, Paraguay, Venezuela, right? We have Brazil, we have Argentina, we have like Suriname, we have many countries in South America, right? So in this statement, in the third statement, they are saying from Latin America only Argentina and Brazil have won the World Cup title till date. So not only Argentina and Brazil but also Uruguay. Okay, Uruguay is one of the country. If you see the map, you will understand like which countries I am talking about. So in this question they have asked us to identify the incorrect statements. What are incorrect statements? The statement 2 and 3, right, are incorrect. So correct answer for us will be option C. Okay, option C will be the correct answer. So you can see like here they have mentioned a name Kylian Kylian Mbappe. So like he is the person who has lost, and this Messi, Lionel Messi, I mean like he has won he has won the historic FIFA World Cup 2022. So he has won for Argentina. Okay, he has won for Argentina. So this is the thing. So let us go through this like explanation in detail. Why we are going through the explanation? Because like this is important, because nowadays UPSC has started asking questions from the sports section as well. Earlier they were not asking questions from a sports section for many years, but like recently they have started asking. So like I guess in 2020 or 21 they have asked 3 questions from this area. Okay, so let's see the first statement. It says statement 1 is correct because World Cup 22 is the title winning. Argentina has won the title. Earlier they won the title in 1978 and 1986. Okay, they have won the title in 1978 and 1986. Okay, so that's why first statement was correct, because like this is the 3rd time that Argentina has won the World Cup title. Then second, it says statement 2 is incorrect. Incorrect. After winning the 2020 World Cup title, Argentina has become the 4th most winning team of the World Cup after Brazil. Okay, Argentina has become the 4th most winning team after Brazil, because Brazil has got 5 titles, Germany has got 4 titles, and Italy has got 4 titles. Okay, so Brazil, Germany and Italy, they have got, you know, Germany, Brazil 5, Germany 4 titles and Italy 4 titles. Okay, and Argentina has got 3 titles. So it is the 4th most winning country, right? Most winning team in the world, okay, in FIFA World Cup. Then let's talk about statement 3. Statement 3 is also incorrect, because 3 countries from Latin America, okay, have won the FIFA World Cup title. Brazil has won 5 titles, years are mentioned. Argentina has won 3 titles, years are mentioned. Then Uruguay has won 2 titles in 1930 and 1950. Okay, so there are 3 countries in South America that has won World Cup titles, right, in FIFA World Cup. Okay, so this information, I mean, like, it is important for all of you, because like you, many of you may be fans of, let's say, sports. Okay, one of the sport is, you know, like football is like one of the most loved sport in the world. So let's talk about another question. Question number 7. So consider the following statements. Carbon market is a trading platform under UNFCCC. UNFCCC stands for United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, right? So it says carbon market is a trading platform under UNFCCC to buy and sell carbon credits. This is a correct statement. Okay, this statement is correct. Okay, the next is value of one carbon credit is different for different countries. This is incorrect, and here we need to identify which of these statements are correct. So only option 1 is correct. So option A will be the right answer. Why option B is incorrect? Okay, why option B is incorrect? So I'll talk about it. Because like if we talk about, like, you know, carbon credit, what do we mean by one carbon credit? The meaning of one carbon credit is same for all countries everywhere around the world. What is one carbon credit? One carbon credit is equivalent to 1 ton of carbon dioxide removed. Okay, when we remove 1 ton, okay, when we remove 1 ton, when we remove 1 ton of carbon dioxide, right, that is known as one carbon credit. Okay, either we are removing, or we are, let's say, reducing, or we are sequestering. Sequestering means we are storing the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. We are taking it and we are storing somewhere we have, like, below the soil, you know, underneath, like underneath the ocean, somewhere we are storing. That is known as carbon sequestration. So removing 1 ton of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere is equivalent to 1 carbon credit. So measurement of carbon credit is same irrespective of the countries. Okay, measurement of carbon credit is same. So that's why value of one carbon credit is not different for different countries. It is same for all the countries. Okay. However, right, carbon allowances or caps may be determined by different countries, governments, according to their emission reduction targets, which is known as like nationally determined contributions, maybe. Okay. So many countries may take pledge for themselves that, like, we want to, like, contribute to reducing the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Why do we want to reduce the carbon dioxide? Because, like, we want to reduce the global warming. Okay. To reduce the global warming, we have to reduce the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Okay. So this is the thing. So I hope you might have understood the question and the explanation in this case. Okay. So here, like, you know, there is an article. It says, what are carbon markets and how do they operate? Okay. The World Bank estimates that carbon trading can reduce the global cost of implementing nationally determined climate goals by more than half. Okay. So this is one news article that was there, explained maybe like in Indian Express. Then the story so far. So recently what has happened? Recently the Parliament of India, they have passed Energy Conservation Amendment Bill 2022, okay. So the opposition was demanding something, and like, you know, they have declined the demand of the opposition, and they have like passed this particular thing. And so like you need to go through this article to understand about the status of, like, you know, how the greenhouse gases are being removed or reduced from the atmosphere, right? What is the target? So the target is like we have to keep the global warming within 2 degrees centigrade, ideally no more than 1.5 degrees centigrade, okay. And for this, like, we have to reduce the global greenhouse gas emissions, okay. So these needs to be reduced, and many countries have adopted nationally determined contributions in this regard, okay. So India also has its nationally determined contributions, so you need to go to learn the details about it. So this is all for this question, okay. You can read the explanation in your free time, okay. You will understand about, like, you know, what are different mitigation strategies. Mitigation means the strategies to reduce the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, okay, to reduce the global greenhouse gases from the atmosphere, right. So this is the thing. So 1 carbon credit is equivalent to removing or reducing 1 ton of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, okay. So that's the measurement. Apart from this, we will take another question. This is question number 8. It says, recently the government started an awareness drive to dispel myths about the rice fortification, okay. So the central idea of this question is rice fortification. Central idea of this question is rice fortification. Which of the following statements about rice fortification is correct, okay. So they are asking us to identify the correct statements with reference to rice fortification. So before we answer this question, we need to understand what do we mean by rice fortification. You might be knowing that the rice that we eat, right, that the rice that we prepare in our households, these rice are, they are white in color. So these rice have been prepared, have been made, right, after following some processes. One of the processes removing the brain, like, you know, the outer layer, like you might be knowing dhan, right. So from dhan, like if we remove the outer layer, we get the rice part, okay. So in the removal process, after it is removed, so it is also polished, okay, it is also polished. So when when it is polished, then, like, you know, during that process, many of the nutrients that are available in the rice gets removed, okay. Many nutrients are removed in that process. So the rice that we eat, so this rice has many nutrients removed. So if we want to add those and other nutrients, we need to follow a process, and that process is known as rice fortification. Rice fortification means adding of nutrition, adding of nutrients in the rice, okay. Why we want to add nutrition? Because we want to achieve some health target. We want to, you know, make our citizens healthier, right. Why? Because, like, if our citizens are consuming healthy products, if they are eating healthy rice with lot of nutrients, so they are going to get benefited, their health status will be good, and they will be, let's say, assets for the country, okay. So you understand, like, you know, so like a person needs to be healthier to become an asset, because, like, a healthy person can contribute to the economic growth of the country, right, through the profession that he is doing. If a person is not healthy, he will not be able to earn, he will be dependent, he will be hospitalized, okay. So that will incur a lot of costs, okay, for the economy, and also, like, you know, the family will also suffer. So that's why we need to do rice fortification. Why rice fortification? Because we want to add value to the rice, we want to add nutrition to the rice, okay. So I hope you have understood what do we mean by rice fortification. Now let us read this question and we will answer this question, okay. It says, rice fortification is a process of adding micronutrients like iron, folic acid and vitamin B12, okay. So it says rice fortification, okay, is a process of adding micronutrients like iron, folic acid and vitamin B12. This is a right statement. Okay, so I have explained what is rice fortification. You might have known that, like, this is the meaning of rice fortification. Let us read the statement second. It says it is an effective, preventive and cost efficient complementary strategy to address the challenge of anemia. Like, when does a person has anemia? Anemia means, like, in the blood when we do not have like good amount of iron, we do not have hemoglobin, like good amount of hemoglobin or iron in the blood. Okay, so like a person becomes anemic. Okay, anemic. So like the quality of the blood is not that good, like that's a person becomes anemic. So if we are adding iron, if we are adding folic acid, if we are adding other vitamins, is it going to help us? Yes, it is going to help us. It is going to help us tackling anemia. Definitely it's going to help us tackling anemia. Okay, so like this is a effective, preventive and cost efficient complementary strategy. I mean, like, if people are given healthy rice, so by eating rice itself they are addressing one of the problems, one of the health problems. So that's also correct. Okay, so now let us read the third statement. It says currently fortified rice is not produced in India due to concerns related to acceptance and sustenance. This is wrong. Rice fortification is being done in India, it is being practiced in India, it is being produced in India. Okay, so rice, fortified rice is being produced in India. Okay, so now let us read. It says which of the statements given above is or are correct. Statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. So option A will be the right answer. Option A will be the right answer in our case. Okay, so this is the thing. So you need to read the like explanation. So like we have also included the explanation over here. It says FCS and CA Kargil organizes awareness program on fortified rice at Sanku. Okay, so like one of the organization, right, they have they have organized an awareness program about fortified rice and its benefits. Okay, so in Ladakh, the Department of Food and Civil Supplies and Consumer Affairs, Kargil, is making out all efforts. Means like you need to read this news item to understand about benefits of rice fortification, and also understand about like which organization has taken a step to generate awareness among people, right? So this is the thing. So like all the benefits of rice fortification have been mentioned over here. You might be knowing that earlier we used to have a scheme which is known as midday meal scheme. Recently the government of India has renamed that scheme, and it is now known as like PM Poshan scheme. Okay, it is known as Pradhan Mantri Poshan Shakti Nirman PM Poshan scheme. Okay, so we also have integrated child development services. So like we have various government schemes at place that actually tries to provide food security. Okay, so it is trying to provide food security to the school going children. Because why? Because midday meals are given to the school going children in India. Okay, so you can read about it in your free time. You will understand about the Food Corporation of India, the role of the food like FSSAI. Okay, Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. Okay, so that's an organization that ensures that like quality foods are being supplied like everywhere in the country. Okay, so like they give licenses to the various food suppliers, food producers in India. So this is the thing. Let us take another question. This is question number 9 for the day. We will discuss about this question. It says which of the following statements are correct regarding criteria for being selected. Okay, criteria for being selected as a UNESCO World Heritage City. Now this question seems to be very technical, but like it is very easy. Why? Because this topic is in news. Okay, why it is in news? Because you might be knowing that like India is hosting G20, group of 20, like India is presiding over G20, okay, meeting. So since India is hosting a G20, and it is presiding over G20 meeting, so the thing is as part of it, like India has launched another vertical which is known as U20. U20 means Urban 2020. Urban 20 means like as part of this, like we have selected 20 cities in India that are urban in nature, but at the same time they are like culturally significant, right. So we will understand about that part, right. So this question is related to that thing. You might be knowing that Ahmedabad, okay, Ahmedabad is a UNESCO World Heritage City, okay. It's a like it has UNESCO World Heritage sites, okay. So we will read about it. Let us read these statements. So to answer this question, you need to have an understanding about the criteria for being selected as a UNESCO World Heritage City, and related to this you need to read about the criteria in the UNESCO website itself, okay. So this particular question has some of the portions from the criteria. Let's say from here to here it is mentioned, but in the exact point under the UNESCO website you will find a bigger explanation, okay. So let's read about it. It says, to represent a masterpiece of human creative genius, okay. This is correct, this statement is correct. Second, this is one of the criteria. Second is, to be an outstanding example of a traditional human settlement, land use or sea use which is representative of a culture. This is also correct, this statement is also correct. Then third statement, it says, to be directly or tangibly associated with events or living traditions, with ideas or with beliefs, with artistic and literary works. This is also correct. All the three are criteria under which a city can be granted the status of UNESCO World Heritage City tag, okay. All the above three are correct. Let's read the fourth statement. It says, to be an active contributor in green technologies so as to mitigate climate change impacts. This is not the case. This has not yet been included. It can be included in the future, okay. So 1, 2 and 3 are correct, and we need to identify the correct statements. So that's why we will identify option A. Option A is 1, 2 and 3, okay. So with this, let us take another question, and before this let me show you the news clips from where we have got the inspiration to frame that question, okay. So this is one of the headlines. It says U20 will lead major exchange of ideas on urban development, Gujarat CM. Now you might have heard about G20. G20 means group of 20, but what is U20? U20 means urban 20, okay. Urban 20 means as part of G20 we are in the process of identifying, we have identifying those cities that form part of 20 urban cities that are going to host cultural events in India. So this is the thing. So Ahmedabad, so you might be knowing, under the G20 presidency of India, Ahmedabad, which is a UNESCO World Heritage City, has been selected to host the U20 cycle, okay. Urban 20 cycle is being hosted by Ahmedabad. So in Ahmedabad, while launching the logo of U20, right. So this is the logo of U20 that was launched in Ahmedabad. He is the CM, Chief Minister of Gujarat. So they have launched it. So U20 is an important city diplomacy initiative, says Hardeep Singh Puri, okay. U20 is a important city development initiative. So this is the thing. You can read about U20, you can read about G20, right. So you will learn more about it. So there are many criterias, right. So I'll read the first statement to make you understand, because we have included all the criterias in the explanation. If you just download the PDF and go through it, you will be able to remember also, okay. So it says, in order to be deemed a World Heritage Site, the location must be of outstanding universal value, demonstrating international significance. It must transcend national boundaries and be of common importance for present and future generation of all humanity. So this is mentioned in operational guidelines, okay. It must also meet at least one of the following 6 cultural, okay. It must meet at least one of the 6 cultural or 4 natural heritage criteria, okay. So there are 6 cultural heritage criteria and there are 4 natural heritage criteria. For a city to be identified as one of the one of the city under UNESCO World Heritage Site, it must meet at least one of the criteria out of these 6 or 4 natural heritage criteria. So these criteria are mentioned over here. Some of the criteria were mentioned in the question also. The first criteria, to represent a masterpiece of human creative genius. That was the statement 1 in the question itself. Okay. Then to be outstanding, like you can read about all other things. So like you can read all other criteria in your free time and you will understand like which of these, and like if you get time you can memorize also. So that will be a good thing for you. Okay. With this, like we'll take another question. This is going to be the last question for the day. Okay. It says, consider the following statements. Right to conversion means embracing more than one religion simultaneously. So the central idea of this question is right to conversion. Why this topic? Why do we have a question from this topic? Because recently the Haryana government, okay, Haryana government has passed a legislation, they have passed a rule, and in that legislation they have mentioned about right to conversion. They have mentioned about some of the legal provisions associated with this. So it says a person who is accused, he has the onus of proving that he is not guilty, like that. Okay. So you need to read that article in the explanation we have included that part. Okay. So that's why our question has been framed on right to conversion. Okay. So let us read first question. It's first statement. Right to conversion means embracing more than one religion simultaneously. This is incorrect. Right to conversion means, let's say by birth, like everybody, like in our societies, everybody by birth they are born into some families, and that family tend to follow a religion. Okay, they may follow Hinduism, they may follow Buddhism, they may follow Islam, they may follow Christianity, they may follow Judaism, they may follow any other religion, let's say. Okay. So by birth we are born into a family that has affiliation or association, or that has faith towards a religion. Okay. So after then, like let's say I am an individual, any individual, they may think if they may be of the opinion that I am not satisfied, or my expectations are not met by my religion. So that individual may think of, let's say, renouncing his religion and become atheist. That can be one option. Other option is to renounce his religion, means do away, leave that religion and start following some other religion. So this can be another thing. Okay. And there are multiple instances also, like where people are forcefully converted from one religion to other religion. So the thing is, forcefully conversion of one religion to another religion is not a part of right to right to conversion. Okay, that's not a part of it. Right to conversion means like every individual has an inherent right, okay, has a right under the Constitution of India, under Article 25, Clause 1 of the Constitution of India, we have right to conscience. Okay. As part of the right to conscience, we can choose which religion we want to follow. We can choose not to follow any religion. Okay. So right to conscience gives us the authority, gives us the right to choose our religion, to renounce our religion, to let's say practice some other religion as well. But the thing is, there are many things in the society that are happening, that has happened in the past, okay, related to forceful conversion and all. So Haryana government has come up with a legislation. That legislation has various things. Some of these legislations are being supported by many people, and at the same time some of the provisions are being criticized by many people, right? So there are both the points. Okay. We will not go into making a decision or making a judgment on that front. We will just answer this question. Okay, it says right to conversion means embracing more than one religion simultaneously. This is incorrect. It means following one religion or not following one religion, or let's say leaving one religion and then like adopting another religion. So that's right to conversion. Second, the Constitution of India provides for right to convert to an individual under right to religion. Okay. So this statement, okay, it says Constitution of India provides right to convert to an individual under right to religion. So this is incorrect, because Article 25 Clause 1 guarantees freedom of conscience. It means like you have the freedom to like have your conscience, like nobody can force you in that regard. So like in my viewpoint, okay, in my viewpoint, the thing is like second should also be incorrect. Okay, second should also be incorrect. However, you can like go through the news article once again and interpret the thing. You can come up with your solution. So like here in this question, like we need to identify which of the statements given above are incorrect. Okay, so both these statements are incorrect. Okay, so both are incorrect. Both 1 and 2 are incorrect. Okay, that's the thing. So it says Haryana notifies rules to implement anti-conversion law, burden of proving innocence to be on accused. Okay, burden of proving innocence is on the accused, and accused has to pay for the maintenance, right? Have to pay for monthly maintenance, and apart from this the accused have to pay for expenses of the proceedings also in case of litigation. So a lot of things are there. You need to go through this article, right, to understand about recent happenings related to like anti-conversion laws, right? So like the explanation that I have given to you, it is mentioned over here. You can read about it. So that's all from my side for today. Thank you so much everyone for attending today's session, and I hope you have a great day ahead. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so like the comments, they will be answered, right, in the comment itself. Thank you so much. Thank you.